There is enough word salad being served in these hearings to end world hunger. I'm not even kidding. And enough legal loophole jumping to qualify as an Olympic sport. Hey, Survivor! Welcome to episode 113 of the Vibrant Survivor podcast. In this episode, I want to share more narcissistic courtroom tactics and power plays in legal battles. Now, you know I've spent a lot of time in court, especially over this past year, right? Preston Lord's case, my friend's son who was swarm attacked by a group of teens and brutally beaten, a juvenile arson case that's in my town, actually, and a state board of education hearing involving an incident at my kid's school. Yep. And I'm going to continue to give you all the tactics and tools to deal and heal. Sound like a plan? But first, let's self-regulate with a 448 breathing exercise, if you'd like. And I invite you to literally shake off the day or whatever you need to let go of to date. We'll inhale for 4, hold for 4, and exhale for 8. Ready? Inhale, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What part of your body needs some TLC? Grab your notebook and pen, and let's dig in. Hey, Survivor. Welcome to the Vibrant Survivor podcast. Do you want to disconnect from a narcissistic or toxic situation and heal? Are you Googling how to identify a narcissist, narcissistic abuse, and boundaries? Are you feeling stressed and lonely while trying to avoid being sucked back in and lied to again? Hey, I'm Leslie. As a busy wife and mom, I fell for the lies and manipulations of narcissists. I wasted my time, talents, and money on users who kept moving the goalposts. I wanted real relationships and business opportunities and to enjoy life with my family. Instead, I struggled with anxiety, panic attacks, and insomnia, and I couldn't trust my body or anybody until I took a holistic approach to healing. In this podcast, you'll find tips for healthy living, trauma healing, and boundaries so that you'll have the freedom, confidence, and inner peace to respond, not react, after narcissistic abuse. Take a deep breath in, let it out slowly, and just relax. This time's for you. There's a lot going on right now, and it's only January. For some, their narcissistic and toxic behavior is catching up to them. I've been listening to state committee hearings where administrators employed by our school district are facing disciplinary action regarding their alleged failure to properly handle multiple student complaints of misconduct by a former and favored teacher at my kid's school. Yep. And this whole thing started 4 years ago. So we were still in the panorama stages and just starting to come out of it, at least in my state we were. And this former teacher has since been allowed to retire. And these victims' families have been through hell. And one family in particular is standing 10 toes down and speaking their truth in a way that's going to help create change for many kids and families going forward, mine included, but not without having to navigate narcissism, especially this week during the proceedings. I tuned in this week, yesterday and today, and I believe the hearings through Friday. And when I tell you, Survivor, there is enough word salad being served in these hearings to end world hunger. I'm not even kidding. And enough legal loophole jumping to qualify as an Olympic sport. So let's talk about how to recognize some of these textbook narcissistic tactics, whether you're in court, at work, or just in a personal relationship. So, one tactic is wordplay. I'm talking narcissistic word salad and this I do not recall narrative. Okay? So, in this hearing that I was referring to, one of the administratives or defendants was using very evasive, loaded, vague, circular answers to confuse or stall the efforts to get to the truth of the matter. And the idea here is to dodge accountability by sending people in circles, overwhelming them with facts or information or details, even intimidating other people with extra information and sometimes nonsense. Titles, tenure, professional jargon to sound important and official and on top of their game. I saw right through it. I was like, okay, what does all this have to do with the heart of the matter, which is how did you act given the circumstances? It wasn't just one person who did it. Like, given the opportunity, when they were questioned, it was like they threw out their title, the amount of time they had been in education, which sounds impressive on the surface, as well as the level that they've reached in the educational field. Throwing out very specific jargon in relation to policies that they have in place and trainings that they've had, and throwing out all these fancy words and acronyms and things like that. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, that's great, but like, what did you do when this incident occurred and how did you respond? Like, I'm thinking this as I'm listening to the hearing. I would encourage you, survivor, to recognize when someone is putting too much on it, gaslighting, or just avoiding the truth. And you can self-affirm. Say if you're a witness and testifying in a hearing, you could affirm by saying, I know what I know. Just even something as simple as that, just reminding yourself that what has happened to you is very real and you've got a story to tell that needs to be heard, and to tell your truth and stand firm on it. The second tactic that I want to highlight is the good old boys club. And I'm sure if you've worked in corporate America, if you're working in corporate America right now, or some other type of situation where there's a very male-dominated environment where they tend to lock arms and cover for each other and create this united front. In this particular case, these school district administrative officials have a reputation of being rug sweeping when it comes to serious situations to protect each other, despite the fact that there is clearly something wrong, okay? Whether it's the misconduct of a teacher and perhaps their failure to act in a way to put students first and their safety. Sometimes it might even be other staff members. What's happening here is the prioritization of perception management, power, and even profit in some cases over people and justice. I want to just pause and acknowledge that these are trauma responses. They're very real because, after all, there are many people on both sides of the aisle, whether it's perpetrator or victim, who have had things happen to them. And so those kinds of things, the cover-ups and the lying and hiding and those kind of things that we're getting into here are all trauma responses based on what has happened to the individual. I'm not excusing it or saying it's right, but I wanted to acknowledge that. So in the case of the Good Old Boys Club, this is a situation where knowing who you're dealing with regarding leadership and systems are critical. And finding out, say, when you enter these situations, starting a job, enrolling your kids in a new school district, what resources are available to you, even outside of the district, whether it's mental health, legal, educational, etc. And you may have a similar experience even on the job, just doing your due diligence in that way so that you are prepared should something come up and you need something. It happens. The third thing that I want to talk about, and this makes me sad as a woman, is misogynistic women defending narcissistic men. During the course of the hearings today, I was listening in, and I was listening to a female administrator who was testifying and basically defending herself and the other school administrators, who were all male, in their responses to this incident that occurred. It's so sad because it enforces toxic norms within the environment, and she probably doesn't even realize how she was enabling the conduct or even the failure to act on the part of these other administrators, these male administrators. And there were victims testifying, and that's re-traumatizing for them. So staying firm in your truth and recognizing when someone is enabling abuse is so key. The fourth thing that I want to share with you are distracting details. We're talking minutia, word mincing versus the truth. And in this case, there was an attorney, a defense attorney, who was arguing just irrelevant details to try to impeach one of the witnesses who was a victim, trying to kind of derail the case or their case in that way. If you're a victim of this type of behavior, it can be exhausting. And there was a lot of nitpicking of words and less addressing of the real harm that was done in this situation. As a victim, not allowing yourself to get pulled into pointless debates and just sticking to the facts. And I was so proud of this witness because she really stood firmly in her truth. And when she was getting bombarded with all of this minutia and mincing of words, there were times when she flat out just said, I don't understand your question. And she said it very matter-of-factly. And I can't speak to what she did or didn't do prior to taking the stand, but she did such a great job of just remaining balanced. I mean, there were times when, she was struggling to remember things or getting a little frustrated, but she stayed the course and was able to really move through the minutia and the word mincing as it was happening real time. Fifth thing is discrediting or minimizing victims and their experiences. And again, saw this with the attorney for the school administrators, portraying the victim's family or trying to portray them as disgruntled members of the school district and money hungry even, because there's a civil suit on the table at the moment, which has yet to be settled. This shifts blame to protect their clients or defendants, in this case, the administration. It can be very disheartening, and it can make victims doubt their reality when this happens. And it can be tempting even to want to react and defend yourself in that situation. Just know that your experience is valid regardless of how someone tries to spin it. Even in a committee hearing like this, no matter who it is or how they spin it, your experience is valid. A sixth thing that I want to share with you is dragging things out and legal loopholes. Yes, narcissistic and toxic individuals can resort to refusal to cooperate, kicking the can down the road, withholding information, paying lip service. Oh, I'll get to that, or oh, I'll get back to you, and then not follow through. And all of this delays justice, as well as wearing victims down as far as their time, their money, physical, emotional, mental exhaustion, especially for people who are bold and brave enough to take, say, a witness stand in a hearing like this and speak their truth and go up against a system and high-level ranking figures in this system, because that can be intimidating, right? So remember to prepare for the long game. Get solid legal help and even mental health support when and if you can, to be able to help you to have the tools and the support network in place to be able to navigate difficult situations and dealing with difficult people and personality types. Finally, survivor, I wanted to give you a really cool tool that can help you to navigate a situation like this on a healing tip, and that is to create a playlist to help you think change your brain. You can actually think change your brain. And you know that I'm not down for toxic positivity. We don't do that here. But having, say, 5 or 6 photos or screenshots of fun, inspiring, memorable moments for you. It could be a quote that you love. It could be a quote with an image of a famous figure, if you like. A picture of a vacation that you really enjoyed, or you and your happy place, whatever that is. Put those in like a folder on your phone, like one location where you can easily access it, and then look at it. Say if you're testifying in a hearing, or you're going into a difficult conversation or a situation, and then looking at those images, talking through those images to just reinforce to yourself the positive experience that you had. Maybe even Dr. Sears was talking about how he likes to sing his playlist. And I thought, what a great idea. Just making up a song and engaging your brain in that way. It could be something you could do, say, before going into whatever the situation is, just to set the tone for yourself in a positive way, but also in a very real way that's very accessible for you, because either it's something that you experienced, or it might be images of people that you love, who you know are really in your corner. That can be a powerful thing going into a difficult situation and help to ground you. And of course, you can always incorporate the 448 breathing exercise that we do every week. Hopefully that helps and gives you some things to think about and even some things to apply in your situation. Remember, when the narcissist launches their attack, you can respond, not react. Thanks for tuning in, Survivor. You are stronger than you know. Take care, and I'll talk to you soon. The fear is real when it comes to processing your experience. I know you feel stressed and exhausted with a pit in your stomach at the thought of being sucked back in and lied to again. You feel like a horrible person for going no or low contact, like maybe I'm the narcissist. The fear, self-blaming, and shaming is something we all go through as survivors. I want you to understand that you're not alone and you're not crazy. Every person who's ever been in a narcissistic relationship has felt what you're feeling right now. If this resonates with you and you're like, I'm done with fear, I'm done playing small, I know who I am, and I am not the narcissist, I want you to say yes. Today's the day. I want you to go right now to closeyourcoachingsession.com, and I want you to book your call, because we're going to do this together. I'm going to hold your hand, and we're going to overcome this fear so that you can begin a long-lasting journey of healing. Let's do this. If this podcast has helped you understand who and what you're dealing with, sharpen your discernment, and move forward on your healing journey, share it with another survivor. Help me help others by leaving a review for the show. And let's connect on social. Take a screenshot, share it in your IG stories, find and tag me at The Vibrant Survivor, and I'll share your post too. I look forward to connecting with you on IG and seeing you back here. You're not alone and you're not crazy. Know who you're dealing with, know who you are. Take care, and I'll meet you back here next week. Bye-bye.